Talked to Professor Velez, a psychology professor at Quinnipiac University, to ask her what she thought about the study, and her thoughts were very mixed. We went to Quinnipiac University to ask young voters about what they thought about this upcoming election. Now, it is the responsibility of the Public Works Department to fix potholes in the road. Now, many students are left wondering what happened.
Yeah, I'm definitely a coffee drinker, and I think it's going to stay that way.
I don't know if I'm studying it. Sometimes I need a Red Bull. Just gets the kick down.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me.
For these kids in Cheshire, Magic the Gathering is what keeps them together. For Quinnipiac, I'm Tommy Thevenet. Now, Zach and Alexa, I think it's very scary to think that Apple doesn't even have control of our iPhones anymore.
How would you feel if you were awarded a Razzie?
I mean, I would just be happy to get an award.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough matchup, I guess.
Students woke up early for the big event, Quinnipiac's Day of Community Service. Whether it was raking leaves or planting trees, students were busy getting back to the surrounding community. The students didn't mind waking up early for the big event.
I don't mind. You know, lip sync was yesterday, so it's not necessarily the greatest thing waking up at 7, but it is what it is, and you got to do what you got to do.
To start off the day, the 2,000 participants were treated to breakfast and had several speakers, including a pre-recorded message from President John Leahy. For some Quinnipiac students, the big event is a way to show the community that they care. In the past, Quinnipiac students have had a bad reputation with Hamden residents.
I had a friend that lived here in Hamden. She said a lot of Hamden residents viewed as it's just like the drunk party crowd.
If one were to see this video of Quinnipiac's president, John Leahy, partying with students, they would probably agree with senior Albert Aguilar's friend. One of the reasons that Aguilar does the big event is to show the community that Quinnipiac is not like that.
I definitely think events like the big event not only makes Hamden, but the greater New Haven area view us as much more than that. They view us as people that care.
And care they did. Some students helped out with the Connecticut Fund for the Environment in New Haven. They planted trees, plants, even put wood chips down for a trail. It was their way to give back to the community. For QNN, I'm Thomas Thevenet. Chance Scott seems like he has the typical dorm room. It's late at night, empty pizza boxes surround the room, and the only thing keeping him and his friends up are video games. But Chance is not your typical college student. He is an inspiring musician who just came back from a musical contest in North Carolina. With his band, Nice Guys finished last. It was a long trip for the Connecticut-based band.
We got on the road around maybe like 3 a.m. early Friday morning, and we drove for about 13 hours.
Chance found out about the competition through his dad, Reggie Scott. It was a Battle of the Bands-like event where the winner could professionally record their own music. Him and his bandmate Kyle Gowden felt outmatched when they arrived to the venue.
Got really nervous because the first kid we met, he was really young. He was 16, but his first show was in front of 3,000 people. He already had all of his music like distributed, and we were just there, you know, two kids in college playing guitar with like 180 likes on Facebook. I was just like, oh my god, dude, how am I supposed to compete with this kid?
But still, the Nice Guys performed to what they thought was a bad set.
Absolutely terrible. Could have been such a better performance, but I mean, I don't know, you live and you learn.
In the end, the Nice Guys were surprised when they placed in second.
Don't think we deserve that second place spot, but I mean, I don't know. We had a lot of charisma, so I guess maybe it came from that.
Nice Guys finished last placement. Came with a little bit of irony. So I heard that you guys lost by a narrow margin?
Yeah, well, Chance and I actually lost by one vote that came into the last 27 seconds, and funny enough, we didn't vote for ourselves, so we could have easily won. Yeah, I know, right? That modesty killed me.
In the end, sometimes Nice Guys don't finish last. For Quinnipiac, I'm Thomas Thevenet. At the Arden House, an elderly home in Hamden, Connecticut, we asked patients how stress affected their health throughout their lifetime.
I think the only stress that I must have went through was when my mother died.
The Journal of the American College of Cardiology published a study on the link between mental health and risk for heart-related diseases. They found that participants who had major stress only when they were kids were at a higher risk of heart disease later in life than those that have not. Arden House patient Mamie Lennon lost her mother when she was 8 years old, but she doesn't think that's why she has heart problems today. However, it did affect her psychologically.
But I always had a feeling that maybe my mother died because she had kids too fast. Because my mother was young when she died. So that's why I didn't want to have no whole lot of kids. Time I got pregnant, I got scared to death. Thought I was going to die.
We talked to Professor Velez, a psychology professor at Quinnipiac University, to ask her what she thought about the study, and her thoughts were very mixed. Clorinda Velez is a psychology professor at Quinnipiac University that specializes in childhood stress. She mentioned how harmful stress could be for kids.
When we're talking about levels of stress that are really severe, we know that is associated not only with mental health problems, but there's also physiological implications as well.
But does she think that childhood stress is the primary factor in heart disease?
I doubt it, but certainly I would think it can exacerbate conditions. It can make it more likely. It could also get in the way of people doing the very things they need to do to get better.
So what can parents do to help out?
There's sort of different dimensions of parenting that are key, but in particular having a warm, accepting relationship with a caregiver can really buffer kids against the negative effects of stress.
For QNN, I'm Thomas Thevenet.